Looks like Audi is sending us another 2025 SUV to look at. Let's take a closer look at the paperwork. In this case on a screen work. It's the Q755 TFSI. I don't know what that means. Quattro, that means all-wheel drive. A lot of stuff here. I'll just scroll down real quick. You can freeze it if you want to see something in particular. And that's a starting price, and they're charging us almost $600 for paint. Everyone's charging for paint nowadays. The new gimmick to put more money in their pocket and out of yours. Prestige package. $12,000 for this. Wow, let's see what that includes. Run flat tires, super stereo, air suspension, headlight washer, oh, we're charging again for a stereo system. Bang & Olufsen. $4,900. $2,100 for what? Oh, bigger tires and wheels. And they don't appear to be run flats. But wait, there's more. All-wheel steering, a trailer hitch, destination charge, and there's the total tab. Well, for this money, I would want it to be made in Germany. Well, Hungary. Well, I guess that's good enough. Safety rating is not out yet. And no, you can't have this one. It's a company vehicle, not for retail sale. Just for important people like me. We're not getting the 4-cylinder, we're getting the V6. We'll talk about that later, but here's the fuel economy numbers that they're promising we can get. We're going to rack up a lot of miles to find out that's true. By the way, here is the price spread with the 4-cylinder starting around $61,795. So yes, you can get one slightly cheaper if you really look. Before we start the video, there's one thing about this vehicle that annoys me. It's all the BS you have to go through before you get on the road. Let me demonstrate. First of all, you have to select user or continue as a guest. Scroll through this nonsense. Now I have to figure out the privacy stuff. Is it okay for the privacy to continue the way it is? Do you want to knock it off, increase it more? Now you can drive. You have to go through this nonsense. Every time I get in, it's totally ridiculous. We do not need this tech. Alright, now we're going to back out here and take it to our test facility. Very nice camera resolution, by the way. And of course has that 3D system we all like to play with. It's totally unnecessary, but entertaining. Gives you something for your money. Presses all your passengers too. Amazing how they can do this. So here it is on the outside, and the same basic shape they've been using for many years, but it's not really dated because it's very nice looking. This will be good for a few more years. And the rear view. It's very hot outside and very windy, so let's get under a tree and behind a wall so we can continue on with this video. And the first things we do, we get a vehicle to check to see what brand of tires they're giving us, because a lot of car makers are putting cheap crap on to save money. But here we got some nice Pirellis. Of course, these are the optional tire package and wheel thing we had for like an extra couple of grand. Can't go wrong with a Pirelli or a Michelin. You're going to need 21-inch wheels and tires, but they sure do look cool. By the way, this does have 3-row seating. Although I don't know who's going to sit back in this 3rd-row seating. Maybe some tiny monkeys or family pets. Now the second thing we do is check and see if there's a spare tire. So let's see what's under the floor here. No spare tire under here, nor is there room to put one. Let's see what this is. I think that's part of the tire repair kit, which will do you no good if you have a busted sidewall. And third thing we do when we get a vehicle is take the headlights out in the dark and see they perform and do some night driving. We already did that in a separate video. We'll have a link for that at the end of this video so you're not missing anything, getting 2 videos for the price of 1, free. And this is a very, very busy grill. Looks like something out of Star Wars. You have all these sensors hidden in here. I wanted to show you the engine, but it's buried under this big plastic cover. The Model 45 has a 261 horsepower turbo 4-cylinder, giving 0 to 60 in around 7 seconds. Fuel economy 20 to 26 mpg. This is the Model 55, has a V6 335 horsepower. You tow up to 7,000 pounds. 0 to 60 in just around 6 seconds. As we saw in the paperwork, 18 to 23 mpg is the clean fuel economy. We'll be taking this out in the real world to see if that's true. In fact, this vehicle will have almost 1,000 miles on the computer, so I have lots of numbers to show you. And this is all-wheel drive and does have an air suspension, by the way, as it showed on the paperwork earlier, in case you missed it. One thing I like about expensive German cars compared to their expensive Japanese counterparts, the German cars, Mercedes, BMW, Audi, have nice, sturdy body structures. You feel it in the door panels, very heavy, very solid, instead of the tin can stuff you get in the Japanese cars. And I don't think I've ever had a German car that had bad seats, regardless of the price. These are very luxurious. Again, what you're paying for, very nice leather too. Same with the quality materials and workmanship inside the vehicles. All good stuff, no cheap plastic parts. Sorry about the glare, but it's high noon, it's 105 degrees outside, and even though I cleaned this morning, it's got tons of dust on it. That's what happens when you live in the desert. And fingerprints, that's what happens when you have these screens. You can't do anything about it except keep wiping it off daily. That's why I like good old-fashioned knobs, but in 2025, those are going away. I'm going to get a sunscreen on the windshield so we can eliminate some of the glare in here. You can see some of the excellent materials we have. The only bitch I have on their shifters, Audi loves doing this. They have this chrome stuff. I don't know if it's real chrome or not. Feels like metal to me. Looks cool, but when the car sits out in the sun for like about 10 minutes or more, and you're dumb enough to put your hand on this, you can get some serious burns. I had this thing sitting out like 4 hours yesterday in 100-degree temperatures and made the stupid mistake of putting my hand on it and almost got some serious burns on my hand. Not a good idea. So if you live in a hot climate, you need a sunshade or cover it up. This will only happen once. You'll learn your lesson. You won't do this a second time, believe me. And here are the climate controls, no knobs, all screen touch, but at least it's separate from the main info screen. And everything's right here and very easy to use, so I'm not going to complain. It's a pretty logical setup. Unusual for a German car, but thumbs up. And is a stereo system worth the extra $5,000? Yes, it certainly is. 23 speakers roaring inside the cabin. And I wish I could demonstrate it, but due to copyright laws, Google will come down on me like a ton of bricks if I play it, so I can't. Well, maybe for 1 second they won't notice. And let's see if I get demonetized for that. I do have a beef with the headlight system controls. Too complicated. I've been trying to turn the headlights off with the engine running and still can't do it without thumbing through a 10,000-page owner's book. Shouldn't be that complicated, Germans. Come on. I almost forgot we have a drive select system. This is the most important feature of all. We got all road, comfort, auto, dynamic, individual, off-road. Yes, folks, we do have an off-road setting on this. I don't know why you'd want to take this off-road without a spare tire. That wouldn't be very smart. If you buy one after purchase, good luck finding a place to put it. I guess if you lowered the third row seating, that wouldn't be an issue. Putting this in the comfort mode, the ride is very plush. Although if you're in a hurry, the vehicle does kind of sway and wallow a bit. Put in dynamic mode, everything stiffens up. The steering, suspension. That's what you need for faster driving. There's a whole menu of choices in this system, and not too hard to find one that suits you or your driving conditions. That's what we're paying for, right? Show and tell is over. Now we're going to take this out on the freeway, get some real fuel economy numbers, and we're going to take this out in the mountains, take some tight mountain curves, and bring this baby out. That's what we're here for. So let's do it. We're going to take a highway trip with this Audi. This is a very nice freeway cruiser. Very smooth and quiet. Comfortable seats. Good driving position. This particular trip will be around 110 miles. And according to the thermometer on the dash, it's 104 degrees outside, so we have the air conditioning running full blast. Doing a good job too. It's nice and cool in here. I had this vehicle in comfort mode because, well, I wanted to be comfortable. And it certainly worked. Now I just put it in dynamic mode. Stiffen up the suspension, the steering. Makes the high-speed stability a little bit better, but hearing a lot of thumping from the tires now. Nothing serious. Just not as comfortable. For now, I'm going to leave it in dynamic mode. Kind of a windy day, and I want all the stability I can get. The highway trip was 127.3 miles, 23.4 mpg. Not bad considering the weather. For those interested in long-term fuel economy, here you go. 965 miles on the vehicle. Mostly city driving at 24 mile per hour speeds. 17.1 mpg. So overall, 17 to 24 mpg is what you should expect in the real world. Alright, now we're done with the fuel economy numbers. Let's do some serious driving here on tight mountain roads, which is what Audis are made for. And right now I have the low beam setting on the headlights. Works better if you do the brights. But we cover that in our headlight test and night drive, a video you need to watch. These are excellent, excellent, very bright. When I first got on this twisted road, I had the car set in the comfort mode, which made it very comfortable, yes, but there was a lot of body lean and wallowing in corners, and we don't want that. So right now I just put it in the dynamic mode, which stiffens up the suspension, tightens the steering up, makes it ready for high-speed stuff like this. And I'm glad we have these good headlights, because there's a lot of wildlife out here I don't want to hit. Mountain lion I don't mind. I put that on my mantle and stuff him, but a skunk, that's a different story. Don't want to give this car back stinking. Gets Audi upset. These wide tires are taking corners very, very well. And the air suspension and stiff mode helps us too. This is a very solid body structure. No rattles, no creaks. This thing's built like a tank, as it should be for the price. I'm sure the 4-cylinder turbo engine in this vehicle is fine for normal use, but you really need to get the V6. It gives you all the power you need. Plenty. That was a nice little drive. Let's head back to town. Wow, the faster this thing goes, the more stable it is. I love it. German engineering at its best. I'm going to hold the camera high so you don't see the speedometer and how fast I'm going. Nothing over the limit, I swear. Nice brakes, by the way. Yeah, baby. So after a week of driving, what's my take on this Q7? Well, I won't give it a 10 out of 10 because I don't like the complicated controls. We get that on all the fancy German cars. I give it a 9.6. Really impressive ride, and I don't want to give it back. As far as value for the money, well, come on, 84 grand. There's a lot of profit built into this. Most people just lease these for 3 years. Good way to buy these is to get one off a 3-month lease and save yourself a lot of depreciation money. And if you do, make sure you get the factory extended warranty if they still offer it, to pay for any repairs or bills that might come up. High-tech German cars are not cheap to fix. And now our night drive and headlight test video is coming up. Here's the link. Just click and watch. You don't want to miss it. You're already here.